Today I want to show you a gift from FBS, the brand new Mercedes.
Wow. So I'm actually really interested to know from a psychologist specialist about the emotions in trading.
Emotions are a big part of trading. Our emotions affect our decision making. The analogy that I like to use with clients is, imagine you are riding a horse. Do you think the rider is in control or the horse is in control?
Sounds like a trick question, horse.
That is a great answer. The last one is control your drive.
Control your drive.
Emotions are a drive, and you're doing great clearly, and there's an amazing car.
Hi, I'm Andrew. I'm currently in Cycle Carriage Petaling Jaya. I'm waiting for someone and I'm waiting for my gift that I've been waiting for so long. So excited about it.
Hey Andrew.
Hey, hi, Azad.
Hi. Thank you for waiting.
Yeah,
Your
thank
car is
you.
ready upstairs. Let's
Thank
go.
you so much. Thank you. Okay.
Today I want to show you a gift from FBS. This is the prize that a man all the world wish for.
Wow.
Come take a look. Okay.
Thank you.
So Andrew,
Ooh.
congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Look at the car. This is the brand new Mercedes.
Wow.
Yeah, come here, take a look. This is your key. One, two, three.
Hi, I'm Andrew. I just participated in the FBS 14th anniversary birthday campaign. And guess what? I just won. And I'm now in my brand new car, Mercedes CLA 45S Matic. As we know, in order to succeed in life, one of the key steps is to be able to control your mind and emotion. So in order to really understand it, we should seek help from a specialist. So fortunately today, we are going to invite a psychology specialist to join us. So now we're going to pick up our guests. Let's go. I'm now with the psychology specialist, Miss Rebekah.
Hi, Andrew.
Can you please introduce yourself?
Yes, of course. So I'm Rebekah Ockens. I'm an organizational psychologist. What does that mean? That means I take care of everything related to human behavior at the workplace. Part of what I do is also a performance coach for investment bankers.
Wow.
So that's why it's really exciting to be able to speak to Andrew, who's also in trading. Yeah, 16 years of experience doing this. Spent the first half of my career in Malaysia. I'm Malaysian, by the way. And the second half of my career in Europe, in France and in Germany. And I got back to Malaysia in 2021. Then here we are.
That's really an impressive resume.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I mean, I'm really curious. How did you feel when you found out about this? I mean, this is quite remarkable.
Winning the car?
Yeah.
At first I thought it was a scam when they called me. because they called me and they said you won the car, and then I was in disbelief, but I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to FBS for giving me this car. So I've spent 8 to 10 years of trading. So I'm actually really interested to know from a psychologist specialist about the emotions in trading.
Emotions are a big part of trading. Our emotions affect our decision making mainly. The decisions we make, the risks we take, how big our risk appetite is really linked to emotions. When you are in a state of positive emotions, for example, there may be a mental state of mind that you're feeling good, therefore everything is going to go well, and you take a bigger risk. That is possible. On the contrary, when you're feeling a bit down, when you're feeling maybe a bit upset, a bit sad, perhaps, and it may not even have to do with anything to do with a trade or any profit or loss, but just happened that in that day you're feeling sad, the potential for you to take a larger risk will be reduced. Because you're probably a bit more cautious. So if you think of a time when you were really upset with someone and you said something that you really didn't mean, and then when you calm down, you realize, goodness, I should not have said that.
Yeah, very true.
That's when the emotional brain has kind of sort of taken over. And the capacity to make a rational decision or a rational behavior kind of just suppresses.
Decrease, I see.
Exactly. The analogy that I like to use with clients is, imagine you are riding a horse. Do you think the rider is in control or the horse is in control?
In the woods?
In the woods, yeah.
Sounds like a trick question. Horse.
That is a great answer. So, well, the rider is in control in terms of which direction to go, in terms of how fast to go, the pull to direct the horse. That's when everything is fine in the woods. But let's say there is a hunter and the horse hears a gunshot. Now, immediately, the horse is going to completely not listen to the rider anymore. He's going to do whatever he wants. The horse is going to go in whichever direction he wants, however quickly he wants. The rider has lost control. So that's exactly what happens when emotions take over.
That's actually a very good analogy.
Depending on the state of mind and mood you are in, you will start to see patterns of behavior.
I see.
Yeah. It's kind of similar to a car. When a car is built, there is actually a safety measure in the car to make sure that the capacity to brake is at least twice as much as the capacity to accelerate, even in sports cars. Because you need to accelerate, but you also need to know when to brake, right? That's kind of like trading. The emotional part is when do you put on the brakes and when do you accelerate? When you're feeling good, there is a higher tendency to accelerate.
Accelerate all the way.
All the way, right? And maybe, I mean, we're approaching a traffic light, for example. Maybe there's a red light. That excitement of accelerating, we need to make sure that we can brake in time to meet the red traffic light. If the traffic light is green, then great. Then you push on on your accelerator.
Yeah.
But if you see the traffic light maybe going yellow, then you want to already have your leg on your brake pad. And that's kind of it's a bit of a balance, really. Knowing when to push further and knowing when to stop.
When to stop.
Yeah, and the emotional element here is when our emotions are heightened, sometimes we forget when to stop.
Maybe we say the good side. Maybe that day I made a really good trade and I hit my target that I was supposed to hit that day. But then I start being greedy. So maybe I think I got high on it now. Then I accelerate all the way and I lost everything. So I want to know, how do I control myself in this part of my emotion? But what you discussed just now, the trading journal, is something I think that will help me, right?
Absolutely. The trading journal is definitely one because you're forcing your brain to become very aware of your emotions.
I can see all my track records and I know when I did the mistake.
Exactly. You will be able to map where were you in terms of your emotions and what decisions did you make. Because different people react differently.
Yeah.
Some people, when they're feeling a bit down, when they're feeling a bit sad, they actually have a bigger risk appetite. So yeah, Andrew, I mean, when it comes to loss, I mean, the loss sometimes triggers certain emotions in us, right?
Yeah.
When we lose something, we feel a loss of control. We feel like we're not in control. And then we go to our trades to get back that sense of control.
Revenge trading?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I think I've done that a few.
Okay.
I think maybe I really had a bad day because I do it part-time.
Yes.
So maybe I had a bad day in work. So I told myself, okay, I'm going to go to the market. I'm going to do it. But my emotion was not right at that time. So it became like what you say, revenge trading. How do I overcome this?
Well, it's very common, Andrew. Firstly, it's very common even among very, very experienced professional traders because we are emotional creatures, right? And that emotions, once it takes over, it drives that behavior. I am feeling a loss of control here. what do I need to do to get back control? It is not beating the market, really. To get back control, I need to beat myself.
Beat myself?
I need to beat my emotional self. I need to overcome my emotional self. Often the nemesis, the enemy, is not the market. The enemy is our emotional self.
To control my mind.
Control your emotions.
Control my emotions.
Control your emotions.
But I find it very hard because when you are angry and when you are in that state,
Yeah.
it's so hard to calm your mind down and say, okay, be positive. And
The more we fight an emotion, the more likely that emotion is going to be frustrating. We're going to hit a wall. So when we're experiencing an emotion is actually verbalizing and saying, I am angry right now. I am frustrated right now. I feel a loss of control right now. You acknowledge to yourself.
Acknowledgement, the first step.
Exactly. And then stepping back and saying, okay, I need to make a couple of trades. Do I want to do this? If you have a choice of making these decisions today, or can you do it tomorrow? Maybe you want to push it to tomorrow. If you need to do it today, then that awareness to say, okay, if I have an appetite to buy more, where is that appetite coming from?
I see. So second is awareness.
Second
Because
is
after you
awareness.
acknowledge, then you can start to be aware.
Exactly.
I see.
Yeah. And then the third would be you've accomplished that awareness, right? You've accomplished that. So it's a triple A thing if you say, since you've brought it up,
Triple A, yeah.
right? You acknowledge, you become aware, and then you accomplish it by saying, okay, what am I going to act on this emotion, or am I going to refrain?
Once you acknowledge and then you're aware, then when you want to act, you're definitely in a much better emotion, a more rational emotion.
Exactly.
Because trading, you can't be emotional, you have to be rational.
Yeah. Often my traders ask me, right? Or bankers ask, should I then be emotionless, right? And I say, well, if you have a pill that helps you to do that, great. But I don't think your wife and your kids or your family is going to be very happy with that. It makes us human. My approach would be embrace emotions. When you embrace emotions, you know emotions. It's like a known enemy. You know where emotions are going to take you. And then you turn them into your friend. And some traders know that when they're very happy, they tend to take more risks in their trades. So then when they're in a happy state, they need to caution themselves. They need to pull the brakes a little
back,
bit.
yeah.
They need to pull back a little bit.
Yeah.
So the car, when you're going too fast, slow down.
Exactly. And the other thing about trading is sometimes, as you would know better than me, it's counterintuitive, right? The stocks are doing really well, right? And then you're like, everything is fine, right? When the stocks are dropping, you're like, gosh, I've got to do something. And sometimes you need to do the opposite. So imagine if you're in the sea and it's a storm and you're fighting for your life, but instead of doing anything, you've got to actually just sit down and do nothing.
Yeah, that's where overtrading comes in. So as a psychologist, what are some of the tips you can share with us?
Firstly, know your triggers. And then from those triggers, you know the link between trigger and decision.
Okay.
Stay present, I always say. Often we are either caught up in looking at past, in the rearview mirror. We're caught up in looking in front and we forget what's going on around us.
Be at the moment.
Be in the moment. When you start worrying, ask yourself, am I worrying about the past or am I worrying about the future?
Okay.
And some people tend to worry a lot about the past. Some people tend to worry a lot about the future. Then bring yourself back to the present. That's one. I like to say, also have a risk management plan, if you may.
Risk management plan.
Yeah, so to know what are the maximum amount of parameters around your risk that you are and you want to take, so that when emotions take over, you're very well aware where these parameters are.
You don't cross the line that you have set for yourself
Exactly.
for your risk management.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you know also how close you are to that already.
Yeah.
And you can see, if you, especially if you do the journaling, knowing when to take a break. I mean, successful people as yourself, one of the hardest things for successful people is to take a break and relax. Physiologically, we're so tight. So the ability to actually take a break and just relax, and sometimes stepping away, having a bit of detachment, that's a really good one as well. The key is to also be open to listening. That would be one. And I mean, the last one is control your drive.
Control your drive.
Emotions are a drive, and you're doing great, clearly, and there's an amazing car.
Thank you.
I've been enjoying and having such a great drive.
Me too. I learned so much.
It was really great, Andrew. I really enjoyed talking to you, and I'm so happy for you.
Okay, thank you guys for tuning in. For myself, I had an amazing time, a really informational time with Rebekah. I really learned a lot. I hope you guys learned too. Thank you for tuning in. We have a lot more for the next episode. Rebekah, again, thank you so much. I really appreciate and I learned so much.
You're most
Thank
welcome,
you.
and thank you for the drive. It was great.
The fuel indicator, it reminds me of a margin call function, because if you're low on the fuel in the car, you need to refuel, or otherwise you will get stuck at the middle of your journey. If you're going too fast in your car, you need to slow down, you need to push on the brakes, you need to have your risk management with your driving. And I think in this matter, the brakes is the same as stop loss.
Yeah.